Good day, Pat the Backyard Builder here. Well, it's been a while since I have posted a video, quite some time, over 6 months. Basically what happened, I had an accident and I really injured my shoulder quite badly. I wasn't able to lift my arm for a while. You know, I couldn't, well, I couldn't lift my left arm at all, but for a couple of weeks after the accident, I tore my rotor cup, and that's been a long, slow road to recovery. So, but I can lift my arms now. I can't go above my shoulders without hurting, but we're on the way to recovery. It's a long, slow process. So, anyways, we're back to doing projects around the house and yard. Not that missing last summer was all that bad of a deal anyways. The entire summer from well, June 21st to September 21st is officially summer up here, and well, that entire time, out of 91 days, it rained 67 of them. So you can imagine how sloppy my backyard was to try and do anything, and just walk on the ground and you're just sinking in mud everywhere. Even in my lawn, I couldn't find a solid piece of turf to stand on. So it was quite the summer. But anyways, we're back working on the desk project here finally. And as you can see, I've got my my edge banding here placed on the one of the sections of the desk anyway. Now this was quite a trick. I'll show you why. Now, when you put the edge banding on onto something, basically what you do is you run your iron down and you heat up the glue until it melts, and then you press it down to whatever it's going on, and you take a roller and roll it into place to make a firm contact. Well, had a problem. Okay, now you can do an outside corner, you just roll over it, but I've got these corners here that are inside radius of 2 inches. So I go to put my iron there, and guess what? They don't touch. So I had to think up an alternative plan on how I was going to solve that little problem, and it took me a while to come up with a solution. But it was actually elementary, because you just basically need a source of heat. So it's just had to find an appropriate source of heat. Blowtorches don't work, obviously, because you're dealing with wood, so that was out right away. Then I came across the idea, well, why don't I try a rounded curling iron? It didn't quite give me enough heat. So finally, the solution I settled on was actually, I went and picked up one of these at the hardware store. It's just a heat gun, and it works really, really well. Basically, you just heat it up. You can heat up a good area, and then you just roll it down right into the curves, and it works really, really well. The only thing you do have to be careful of is if you stay in one spot for too long, you can actually set this stuff on fire. So, you know, because it is just wood, and that heat gun does get very, very hot. So do keep it moving. And then now I just have to figure out a way to trim the overhang now on both sides here. I got a little bit of overhang here because I got 2-inch banding and 1.5 inches of desks. So I've got to figure out a plan for trimming. I think what I'm going to do is just going to take my router and zip the flat spots, and then I picked up this pull saw, and I'm going to see how that does for trimming through the curved sections. Just put it in and you draw it back, and hopefully that'll solve my problems for getting everything nicely finished off here. So anyways, let's get to work. Okay, so now to get started here, you need to cut yourself a piece of edge banding tape. Make sure it's long enough to go the entire length of the piece that you need to cover, and just make sure that you add a little extra to overhang the end as well. Now, with this particular piece, because it's so complicated, what we're going to do is we're going to start in the center. We're going to get the center laid down. So we'll follow into this one corner here, make sure that we've got enough. And we're going to overhang here. Okay. And make sure we got enough there. We're going to get the center down tight first, and then we'll work on these fancy rolled corners. Okay, so what we'll do here, we'll just get our heat gun going. Heat that up a bit, and then we'll just take the roller and that'll start to stick, which is what we want, and then we'll just carry on down here. Just like so. The reason I use the roller for that is that it can get a little hot on the tootsies there. Just keep the gun moving, otherwise you can get a burn spot on your banding. You don't want that. Okay, now we'll let that cool, and that will secure itself nicely now. And just make sure that we have enough to go through these corners and overhang. We've got lots, so we're fine there. Okay. So now, the trick with this is to start heating at the bottom and work your way up over the top. Okay, so you can go underneath a bit here. And that took me several months to figure out. So that simple little trick is all there is to it. So just make sure everything sets nice and flush against your surface. Now, sometimes if you roll up too much, you can pull it up from this corner. So what you need to do is just simply roll down and just pull it back a bit. So that's just keep your heat gun running along the whole edge here, and then you can pull it back. But if it cools down up here, you're not going to be able to pull it here. So do keep the whole thing, everything that you've seated down, keep it warmed up. And I've got one little spot here up on this upper corner here. I need to pull this back just a little bit here. So I need to heat up the whole top here. Run the heat gun over it, get it all heated up a couple. Once it's all heated up, now I can run back over that corner and get that in nice and tight there. There we go. Make sure that sets down. There we go. If need be, you can heat it all up and just lift it and reset the whole thing while it's hot. Just like so. It's a little tender on the pinkies there. And that's all there is to that. And the same with the other end, although being a double curve, that's a little more tricky. So that is just nice. We'll let that cool and we'll work on the other end. Now with this one here, you're going to want to do the one end, the one bump first, get it set properly, and then work on the next one. Okay, so you want to work this in sections. As you can see, it just rolls in nicely. Okay, we'll let that cool, and once that's cooled and attached, then you can go on to the next section. Watch your seam on the top of your surface here. Make sure that is solid. Make sure you don't creep down here. Okay, you need a little more heat. And that's all there is to that. Just that easy. There. Now I'm pulling it across the face. Because basically what I want to try and do here, I want to, I don't want to pull the glue off what I've just glued the piece to here, so I'm pulling toward the piece so that it's got some backing behind it. So when you've got a wider piece coming off, I'm doing about 1/4 of an inch here, it can sometimes splinter on you, so just leave yourself a little bit of a ridge there, go back and do a second cut, and then go at it with a piece of sandpaper to clean it up. A little bit of sanding should take care of that now. So anyways, with this all nicely trimmed and the edge all nicely sanded, quick sand to the surface, and then we're ready for staining.